Internet.
Are we online yet?
We should be. Are we online? That's Chuck's job. Chuck's the one that's supposed to go. Are we online yet?
Are we recording? I am going to.
I am recording.
I want the
I'm
thumbnail to
recording
be
now.
me doing this. Usually
not.
the thumbnail's me going like, I want it to be like, yeah, smash the like button.
Harlow and I lucked into it last week because we were both making the inadvertent shocked face.
Oh, you were making YouTube face.
And I was like, oh, wow, great.
Yeah, I was just gonna start. I should start. What is the timestamp? Like, how far in? It used to be halfway, but then
It
stopped
grabs
that.
like the first actual frame at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we just need to start live streams going, and we'll get all the hits. Yeah.
yeah.
What are those?
You can,
make that
you can
face.
look at it in the Discord. Mackie and I are just bored to tears.
Really? See? Damn it. YouTube.
I know. I know.
You
It's lame.
suck. Yeah, I'm looking at it, I'm like,
And then
lame.
elders react to movies.
I give it 2 thumbs up for my friends.
I wrote this review on my jitterbug.
I need a cell phone.
I called the nice jitterbug man, and he tweeted it for me.
he wasn't dead. He ate at a restaurant.
What time does the cell phone commercial come on? I have to watch it.
What time's the Banffcast on?
What channel are you on?
We throw their schedule off. It's like 9:05.
Yeah, TBS.
Is this the
Suck it.
super station?
We're on channel 69. Suck it, Grandma.
They're calling up TBS asking when the Banffcast is going to come on if there's something wrong with their television.
Yeah. Did America's team run long?
Just to prove that I'm, you know, as much as I try to be a better person, I'm still an immature little bitch. It's like I literally woke up this morning for, you know, like if I ever feel like any slight variation, like it's hotter or colder in the room when I first wake up, the first thing I do is like, you know, talk to the Google lady and ask them the weather. And like I'm not even I haven't even like peeled the covers off me yet. I'm just like, it feels kind of chilly, you know. What's the weather? And she goes, right now it's 69 degrees, and I'm just laying there. I went, nice. Like, I'm just like fucking idiot.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I
Yeah,
shouldn't-
that's you.
Yeah, I was like, I shouldn't do this like first thing in the fucking morning. Nice.
You're an idiot.
I am an idiot.
God damn
Yeah.
idiot.
Good job, you fucking
I'm a
idiot.
fucking idiot. Fucking idiot.
I have retweeted our tweet.
Oh, yeah, there's a tweet.
Oh shit!
You're welcome.
Is there a tweet?
Man, this bourbon's hitting fast. We've been talking for too long.
Nice.
I should probably go first.
Oh.
Because by the end I'll be like, I watched some, but fuck it.
Hey, I got my thumbs up in the thumbnail. So, what's that?
What?
Said I got that thumbs up in the my thumbs up in the thumbnail. Thumbs up in the thumbnail. The YouTube thing, the preview. I was going
Right.
like this.
Thumbs nail.
Thumbnail, thumbs up, nail.
Who's got 2 nails? He's got this guy.
The Lord.
That was 3.
3 nails is a conspiracy. There were actually only 2.
Oh, remember when there were only 2 nails?
Harlow's still destroyed. He can't handle it.
I still like there was oh, this is so bad. Back, you know, when I lived in Orlando, there was like the equivalent of the Village Voice. I don't remember what it was called. It was like the free alternative.
Oh, God.
You know, yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And the personal section, like they very clear. There's like, you know, classifies as this much. Personal ads free. And I was like, I would have called and go and say Pontius Pilate looking for Jesus to nail in the men for men section.
Nice.
Yeah. See
Was
if
it
they would
Orlando Weekly?
I don't know.
I think you're right.
Maybe.
I think you're right.
But yeah, I was just like, I was wondering if they would print that.
I miss connections from the Folio Weekly.
Yes. I think they brought it back with Folio 2.0.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Good.
they did.
Good. It needed to come back.
I'll check it.
Did we ever find out, was like Root Beer Dave just placing all those personal ads himself? Because that was like too weird.
Probably. Probably.
I appreciate that Root Beer Dave unfriended me on Facebook, but kept my wife as a friend.
That's the most on-brand fucking thing I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Yep.
Every time I would pick up the folio, I'd be looking through the misconnections things because it was like, always hilarious. And I was like reading it, I'm like, that's fucking Root Beer Dave. Like every time I would pick it up, and I didn't pick it up all the time. Just every time I did, I was like, that's fine.
Knowing what I know, that man is a great fan of fiction. And that's where I'll leave that.
Sure.
Yeah. I think we've had this discussion already.
We have.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, what have you guys been up to?
Black Lives Matter, Justice for Breonna, fuck the Louisville Police Department.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, that's all I can say. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Did I miss
Also,
updated news? Because I whatever. I don't know if I want to get into this.
There was only one indictment in the murder of Breonna Taylor, and that was one officer who shot
The guy
into the
who was
wall.
outside.
The
and
guy who
just,
was outside.
blind fired into the house. Who's
And
the
the
actually
charges
the
were
one?
the charges were for endangering other people,
Yeah.
not the people who died,
Oh,
not the person who died.
okay.
but
So
the
I just saw
neighbors.
indictment. I was like, oh, that's must be good, but I guess not.
Nope.
Literally
it
not.
was.
Yeah.
I
like
did-
the maximum sentence is 5 years.
I didn't have time to
Maximum.
dig any deeper than
Yeah.
that. I just like saw a headline. I was like, oh, that seems good-ish.
Yeah,
But
the
no.
other three officers got a. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to cure this COVID thing so I can move anywhere.
Anywhere?
Like literally anywhere else at this point. Like New Zealand is the prime candidate for obvious reasons.
Because
But
you've got such a good accent.
yes, because I've been working on my accent.
excellent.
Dude,
I can just
I-
see you getting.
I
off
will
the
have
plane.
you know I have seen the movie and both seasons of What We Do in the Shadows. You must let me
Yeah.
in.
they actually started showing the movie What We Do in the Shadows on FX the other night, and I was like, oh shit, like I forgot. He's got the one girl over and he's talking to her and she's got kicking the accent so fierce, and it's like, this is New Zealand, because I believe it is set in New Zealand.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because the credit in the beginning says New Zealand Documentary Board. So, but yeah, but no, obviously that would be the first choice because they speak English, kind of English-ish.
It's like English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like obviously the most beautiful place on the planet, but it's also like New Zealand's like a science experiment because like we were watching Sam Neill was narrating a documentary about nature in New Zealand, and it's like, yeah, the penguins go in the forest to lay their eggs, and it's like just this fucking penguin walking around in the goddamn forest. It's like, no, you're a penguin. Get the fuck out of the forest. You're not supposed to be here.
The bear's going to eat you while he's shitting.
Yeah, but it's like some goddamn science experiment. I love it.
And they got hobbits.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not?
They got Vikings there, right?
Maybe.
Sure, why not?
Hobbits, dwarves, elves, Smogue.
But
Oh, yeah, they
seriously,
got
yes, that would be.
No,
like-
that's in
like,
L.A. They have Smaug.
Obviously, I'd have to do the podcast at like 7 a.m. there, but
You could finally be reunited with your credit card.
that was Australia. I'll have you know.
Oh,
It's-
sorry.
It's not the same thing.
It's not far
No.
away. You could
It's
go
an
visit
island
it.
of criminals.
Tanzania.
There goes our Australian fan.
Yeah, Australia is my second choice, obviously, but you know,
I don't want
like,
to
I
tell
just wanna
everybody.
be a
I
mixed
don't want
biscuits.
to tell everybody my first choice because they might follow me there.
whisper it.
Oh.
Tell me now. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
yes, whisper it on the internet.
Okay.
All right, here goes. Just tell me it's Finland.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And see, I should. I'm 50% Finnish.
Mm-hmm.
I have it in my blood, though.
you're
Learning the
halfway
language.
done.
I'm gonna be
You're halfway done.
50% finished here in a minute.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. I was going to learn the language, but I was afraid I'd never finish.
No, like my dad speaks Finnish, and it is just like guttural. Like it's like.
Oh, next time we see him, we gotta have him do that.
Oh yeah. We're never seeing anyone again, Chuck.
Like when he gets around his old, like the old Finlanders, like like my grandfather's friends who are somehow still alive, even though they're like 102 now. You'd be like, oh, no, and you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like, what is? Are you speaking? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Finnish is a really weird language.
All those Nordic languages are interesting.
Well, it's weird because it's like so many syllables are rolled together, so it's strange.
Did they do what would that be? Conjunctive words like German do? Like, do they put slam words together to make one
Honestly, I don't know the structure of the language at all. Like I just know, like I've heard him and my uncle and my grandfather and like all speaking with each other, and it's just like you guys are. I don't know what's happening here.
Is conjunctive a word? I mean, like as in like a conjunction,
Yes.
putting things together. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but I honestly I have not researched it enough because like the practical usage of Finnish is basically I have gone to Finland. Like that is your practical usage for Finnish. And there's nowhere else that you will ever use that language, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I hope you like Lutefisk.
I do. Yeah. Is he related to Carlton Fisk?
Yeah, like Finland, not known for their cuisine, known for boiling food a lot. They boil a lot of things there.
Known for, I imagine, known for preservation of food
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, got a vacuum sealer. Super excited about that. That's
Have you vacuum sealed anything yet?
I have.
How about your face? Then you could go outside for about 2
Great
minutes.
idea.
That guy's thinking.
Yeah, you could go see like 2 minutes of a movie.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait.
You get through the trailers,
You
maybe.
die.
Yeah. Just think you could finally watch Tenet.
I don't think I can. I don't think it's in any theaters here.
Oh, is it gone again?
It was just renting space.
Oh. Like are our theaters open? I have like it's been so like not even a consideration.
They did open them. I don't know if they're still open.
I don't
but
think the Regal's open because when I've had to go by it, it's always empty. But that could just be it's open and everyone's no. People aren't smart here. Sorry, never mind. I was
they're
thinking
open.
for a
I got
second.
emails from all the chains saying they're open.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time I've gone by the Regal Avenues, it's completely empty parking lot. So
Fucking stupid, man.
Right.
I don't know what Sunray is doing. I hope they're doing well, though. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, at least their plan, like they acknowledged, like, yeah, like this is shitty. But I think they had been running the drive-in stuff, even though it wasn't at their location.
Yeah.
They had been the organizers and the ones running all that. So
Yeah, they've run. I think there are 2 or 3 locations that they use for the drive-in.
the people that close the playtime are like, "Fuck! If we just waited a couple more years, we'd stuck it out, done porn for a little bit longer."
honestly, when did they close
us?
it? It was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Is it that much? I thought it was only like 5.
It was a
maybe.
while.
They've
ago.
been closed a while.
Okay, time's weird now, so I don't know.
Yeah, because I moved out of West Side 7 years ago, and it was gone then. So I think it's been long enough.
I just love that like a drive-in movie theater became a porn theater for a while. That's so fucking weird. I mean, I know it's out like back in the woods where you can't fucking see it from anywhere, but still,
Best
it's
place
just
to watch
like
porn,
yeah,
yes.
it's just like giant outdoor
God.
porn.
That would be just the place of legend if you were like 12 years old. Be like, dude, if we sneak through the forest to get there.
Yeah, be like fucking Finding Narnia.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Get to see some Narnias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you open up the
Origin-
cupboard
Yeah.
and it's just penetration. So, yeah.
Dead ass land.
I just want you to know I'm keeping all of this. The show, whenever it starts, is fine. I don't
Oh,
care.
okay.
All of this is going into the show. So
Hey,
if you want to clap once and let's go, that's fine. But we're 20 minutes into the
No, man,
broadcast at this point.
We haven't done a bonus BS in a long time.
That's what I'm saying. All this is going in.
Okay.
So just clap
I'm all
for a
for it.
sync. And is everyone recording?
Yes,
I know,
I've
yeah,
been
I am
recording for like 25 minutes now.
Fantastic. It's great.
I've got 14 and a half minutes of recordings.
Beautiful.
All right, let me shut down all my other windows.
All right.
Yep. All right, good to go.
Okay.
Did clap. Are we starting like doing a proper intro? Like start proper.
Do a
Okay,
proper
yeah,
intro,
okay.
but
Just
I'm
you
still
threw
keeping those first
All right,
That
30
shit's
minutes.
going in the bonus.
Yeah,
bonus BS.
Yeah, you threw me
Patrons.
off. So. All right, welcome to the Bamfcast Variety Hour,
Hey,
Hey,
Bamfcast.
Bamfcast
it's the
Variety
Bamfcast Variety Hour.
episode
Dun, 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 dun.
22.
22.
Yes.
Hooray!
Deuce.
Hashtag.
I didn't look it up. I just tried to remember. I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
I'll take it down a notch. I don't know why that was so excited.
Hey.
Dude,
Yeah.
Oh,
we've
stay
been talking
pumped.
for like half an hour, talking smack.
Yeah.
I'm
So yeah,
ready to go.
I don't know why you would be joining us now, but just in case, but this is our Variety Hour non-standard podcast where we talk about whatever. It's like an extended second half, but it can be whatever. We are free to go off topic here, and we probably will at some point during this episode. Maybe because I know the future and also the past.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
Well then.
yeah, we non-linear editing. We talked about some shit before we officially started. That might be in the episode.
Who knows?
Might be.
Might be. Who knows?
So yeah.
So should we talk about actual movies
Sure. I didn't
or
watch it.
shows or whatever?
Almost why we're here.
I decided to pull a
Eh.
BJ, and I didn't watch anything this week. So,
Wow.
but
Th-
BJ
th-
watched
this is-
things, so it's crazy.
This is a very special episode in that case because it's like, wait, Harlow didn't watch anything?
I did not.
Harlow didn't watch anything, and I went on
A bender.
a bender. Yeah, I went on a focused bender of a specific director. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's the weirdest timeline now, officially.
Well, I've seen all these movies a multitude of times, so I will be able to chime in. But no, I've not
Yeah.
watched anything new or exciting or at all, really.
I think I probably watched the newest thing.
Okay.
And Chuck will be happy to hear that once again, I saw something depressing and documentary-ish on Netflix. We watched The Social Dilemma, which is interviews with the people who invented a lot of social media stuff. The guy who invented the like button was one of the interviewees. Like CEO of Pinterest, all these people who are basically like, yeah, we created the monster and we're Frankenstein and yeah, we're all fucked. So enjoy. And I'll say this, it is a unique documentary in that there's all these interviews with these tech people who are like, yeah, we kind of super fucked up. And when we built the algorithms, we didn't realize that they were basically going to actually alter human behavior, which they did. And they all acknowledge that. And they're like, yeah, fuck. And I couldn't handle that. So I quit. And so there's a lot of that stuff, but it's also intercut with footage of basically the son from Righteous Gemstones and the girl from Moonrise Kingdom as a family that like has all these social media interactions. So it's like they
There's like
filmed
a dramatization of.
Yes, they film these segments where it's like, this one kid, they're like, oh, the little sister, they put all the phones in this box that they bought on Shark Tank that has a timer, and then when the timer goes up, you can take everything out of the box. And like the youngest daughter literally smashes the box with a hammer to get her phone out, and it breaks kid from Righteous Gemstone's phone. And they're like, oh, well, if you can stay off social media and not use your phone for a week, we'll buy you a new screen. And then it becomes a case of like, oh, well, there's Pete Campbell from Mad Men, who is the different AIs that are determining how to get his attention, to get him to use the phone. And they're panicking because he hasn't used the phone in 2 days. And it's weird because it's like you have these really good interviews with these people who are like, yeah, man, we fucked up. Like I was like super into all these Dr. Frankensteins talking about their monster rampaging through society. And then they're like, no, let's go back to this guy, like learning about the the extreme center because YouTube videos found out that, oh well, flat earth theory, and then they started pushing all of the other stuff towards him. And they talked to the guy who invented the YouTube algorithm, where he basically said like it picked up on like one little unique quirky thing about you, and that became, it would be like, all right, well, let's push that and that and that. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't stop it. And it just kind of became like it would focus on that one thing. Like me, every time I log into YouTube, within my first 3 videos will be something Dark Souls related, without fail. I have not watched a Dark Souls video in probably 4 years, and yet I will still get Dark Souls videos every single time I log into YouTube. And that's kind of what he's saying is like, well, problem is somebody watched what is it, loose change, spare change, whatever the fuck that 9/11 thing was years ago.
Yep.
Like somebody watched it years ago because a friend of a friend was like, man, you got to check this out, trust me, steel beams, jet fuel, etc. And so they watched it, and then suddenly like now YouTube's like, huh, how about flat earth? Yeah, oh, they didn't pick it up that time, how about now? And it's like, it's a lot of stuff a lot of us already know, that it's basically like, yeah, it's gonna polarize everything that you get until you're at a point where you don't, like, all you can think about is these other people are idiots, they have no common sense, how can they not understand that they're fucked in the head, and it does a good job of balancing itself and not being like, no, listen, all the right wingers are crazy fucks, or like all the left wingers are fucking liberal fucktards, like they don't do any of that, because like the videos he watches are for the extreme center. It's like the polarizing thing that these guys are throwing at Righteous Gemstones Kid are like, yeah, man, everything's fucked, so the system's done, join the extreme center, and it's like, okay, like we get it, you don't want to show that you're biased towards any side because then somebody will just shut it straight off. But it's just tough watching and like seeing these guys who are basically like, yeah, like we altered human behavior, like I will not let my kids have a phone, I'm fighting it. And one guy was like, yeah, I think it was the guy who, he was the head of monetization for Facebook before he left to become Pinterest CEO. And he's basically, yeah, like, but he's like, listen, man, like I am totally, I know what I did. Like I fucked everything. And he's like, and I was addicted to my phone. Like I was not spending time with my family, and I'd get home and I'd be like, all right, no emails after 8 p.m. And then he'd say like, and it would last like a day or two. And then you'd hear that ding, or you'd hear the phone vibrate, and you just couldn't not pick it up. And it's one of those things, like I can relate with that so fucking hard. And that's the thing, is these are the people who invented it, and they're still not immune to all the tricks that these things do. Like I know Facebook every fucking day is going to tell me No Quarters has a new like, and I'm like, we haven't posted to No Quarters in fucking 4 years. So there's no way somebody's suddenly like, oh, No Quarters, let's put a like on that. It's like, no, you're fucking liars. You just want to put that notification up, so I'm going to click your app at some point. And then they think that's the hook that's going to bring me back in. And yeah, it's like really depressing hearing that stuff. I just wish they had just gone straight interviews, documentary stuff. Like, show me the statistics. Show me the statistics about teenage female suicide since social media, like really like the uptick since 2009. Talk about that shit more, because it's only in there for like 2 minutes. Talk about, hey, we talked about my dog dying, and suddenly my wife gets ads on Facebook about pet cremation, and the dog hadn't died yet. Like, talk about that shit, how your phone's listening to you. Talk about those things. And they don't quite get into that, which is unfortunate, but they cover enough stuff that I think it's worth watching and listening to, and basically listening to these guys saying, you need to stop, like you need to turn off all notifications on your phone. Like that's the best thing you can do immediately, is turn off all notifications for any social media. Like if you can't delete your account, we understand. Like it's tough, you'll never talk to your aunt again because Facebook is the only way you interact with her. and she's a really nice lady, but you know,
Oh,
the
you
closest
have
thing you
different.
can
You
do
have
is shut
different
off
ants
all
than me.
notifications and stop with all of it, you know, because every one of them is, you know, basically designed to be addictive and designed to, you know, harvest your information. And they know so much about you that it's kind of mind boggling and kind of scary. But yeah, I mean, it's worth watching. I just wish it had been made by someone who didn't feel the need to make this dramatization take up almost half of it.
I have one question. When you say the
Yeah.
Righteous Gemstones kid, who do you mean?
The God, the one who was in
Talking about
Booksmart.
workaholics guy?
No, the
No.
one who was in Booksmart.
Oh, so like the Danny McBride's kid that comes back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoiler for the second episode, I think.
Yeah.
Like
Whatever.
they dangle. I'm saying they dangle that like who is this for like a
Mhm.
one episode or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it's good, it's well made, like, but yeah, it's just depressing because the main one is the guy who designed Eagle or Google's email and became their chief ethics officer, but then eventually just left because it was like, fuck, you got, I'm not making any change whatsoever. Which, you know, like kudos to him for doing that. But yeah, his thing is like machines have and AI have overcome human weakness. And he said, we're at the point where we're between it's overcome human weakness. When does it overcome human strength? And then that's, and he's like, when it overcomes human strength, that's the point where you're like, we're done. Like it's like literal Skynet times at that point. And he said, we're in between that.
Can they not stop it? Like, is the algorithm just there and it cannot be undone?
You basically have to shut these companies down because that's the problem is there's too many people there who they don't give a fuck. Like that's their job, you know, is to find out how to make it as addictive as possible and how to give that dopamine hit and how to, you know, and it, you know, they use the slot machine analogy where it's like, okay, I post something on Twitter. Is this the one that gets 50 likes and 100 retweets? You know, or is this the one where nobody says anything and it just, you know, it gets a couple bloop bloop likes and then it goes away. And then you're like, fuck, that sucked. That was a good joke. You guys are fucking idiots. Here's another joke, you know, and it's like it's almost like the bad ones drive the engagement more than the good ones. And yeah, there's just it's that slot machine mentality that is like deep in, you know, the lower brain, so to speak. And they talk a lot about that. I mean, it's not stuff we don't really know all that much. It's like, yeah, all these companies are evil. Sorry, but I think it's still worth seeing to hear that. I just wish it had been made without the dramatization bullshit because every time they start showing those people, I was like, oh god, just get back to the interviews, please.
Yeah, it's a thing I haven't thought about in years. I'm not going to hijack your, and I know I said I didn't watch anything, but I am watching that HBO series, The Vow, about the Nexium cult thing. And I hadn't thought about the movie in years, but one of the main characters, I don't know what you say, one of the main subjects of the documentary was the guy that directed that What the Bleep Do We Know movie. And that's a thing that would have been better if they'd taken out the weird dramatization portion. Like there's that whole like Marley Matlin through line of that movie where it's like this weird dramatization. It's like the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
You mean, what the
and they
bleep
do
is
say
this?
like and they do say that there is good that has come of social networks and, you know, and all the apps and everything that's been designed to do this because, you know, obviously there's people I'm friends with on Twitter who I never would have met in, you know, in the course of natural life, so to speak. You know, you can press a button and suddenly, you know, you have a car outside waiting for you in a couple minutes. You know, you can order crazy shit on Amazon that'll be there tomorrow that you never would have been able to access in any other way at any other time. So it's, you know, it's not all doom and gloom about social, you know, social networks and, you know, and apps and everything else, but it is also like, yeah, it kind of is. Like if we keep going down this road, it's just like global warming. It's like we're already at the point where it's probably too far. So we got to figure out how to bring it back.
This is a weird.
The biggest
okay,
problem
go ahead.
for me is that instead of these things just paying for themselves and existing, people decided that they needed to be mega corporations with stockholders and make
Mm-hmm.
billions of dollars. Like if you just have the greed is what kills it every time.
Yeah.
What kills everything every time is the greed. Um, if you just have a thing that's out there and exists and just kind of works, like Neopets or Club Penguin or whatever, just things
Mm-hmm.
that just basically run and pay for themselves and don't actively work on getting people addicted for the sake of making more money via uh, manipulating people's behavior or manipulating data so that it looks like whatever thing you've decided is the new thing is the new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Facebook did with video when everybody pivoted to video after Facebook decided that,
And they all lied.
yeah,
They lied about their numbers.
yeah, they lied about their numbers for greed's sake. And everybody
Yeah.
pivoted to video, which benefited Facebook and made Facebook a whole lot more money. Like the stuff that's just out there for the point of existing that's social uh, can be really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like literally everything. Like YouTube was just getting by, maybe not paying for itself, but it was a really like it was an asset to the community before the gross over monetization of YouTube. Like,
but I mean,
it was cool. You just put a
sadly,
video out there.
YouTube wasn't like majorly in debt before YouTube bought them. I mean, the hosting costs of YouTube, unbelievable. Like like amount of storage needed, and
Well, yeah. Well, that's
astronomical.
the guy who was in charge of monetization for Facebook was like basically because I think he joined in like 2008 or 2009, and he was like, all these companies had invested all this money in it, and they had all these users on it, and it was basically at that point it was like, all right, how do we make money off this? And it became, how do we do it without destroying what we've already created? Because obviously if you jam a bunch of ads on, everyone's going to be like, fuck you, and leave for obvious reasons. And so the guy said, yeah, we had to strike that balance there. But all of them talk about the dials, and they say like, oh, you want more engagement in South Korea? Well, dial the algorithm here. And suddenly you could get, okay, everyone in South Korea is talking about this, this K-pop band or whatever. And basically they're saying there's that much control there, and there's that much information about everybody, that if they want to monetize, guys 40 years old who enjoy bad movies that nobody else likes, it's suddenly like, all right, turn the dial. And suddenly all of us, were we on Facebook, I think there's only two of us left that would suddenly start getting hammered with content that faces that direction. So it's pretty crazy. And there's other stuff in there too, like about how it's affected younger generations, basically the generations that have grown up only on social media and have never known a world without it, and how like they don't date nearly as much, like, which I didn't really realize. But it's like, yeah, like I wish I could remember the numbers that they said, but it was like, only like 25% of teens have been on a date by age 16 or something. I'm like, well, yeah, that's not that bad. And it's like, oh, wait, no, I was not cool in high school. So suddenly like, wait, suddenly nobody's cool in high school. I don't understand this. But like how it's wrecked social interaction for younger, for adolescents and teenagers. And yeah, it's sad. So once again, I've watched something that is depressing and horrible and, not enjoyable.
Well, that was probably a great idea overall.
Yeah. I told Jen we have to find something fun for next week so I can actually talk about something fun.
Next week,
I have an
Maggie
idea
talks
for you.
about Schindler's List.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had last week, I had the kind of week where, I deserve something nice. So, and I'd had this particular movie on my brain. If you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about for the next hour long. But I'd had a bunch of the music for this particular movie on my brain, and I was like, fuck it, I deserve it. I've seen it a million times. It's one of my go-to, um, not necessarily a feel-good movie, but one of those movies that just it doesn't make me feel better because the movie is like a pick-me-up. It's just it makes me feel better because I really like it. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, it's comfort food.
Yeah, because it's definitely not healthy for you. Because and I'll just say this at the beginning to get it out of the way. Scott Pilgrim is a terrible human being, uh, generally, and he deserves to be punched in the face. But that movie is still so fucking good. Um, I I love pretty much every single scene, even though like I've said, I don't really like Scott, the character. Um, Michael Cera is absolutely the only person that could have played Scott Pilgrim, um, at least the way this movie wants Scott Pilgrim to be, to be shown. Like he's the only one who could play it like that, and it's like it's almost not good acting because it's just like this is what you expect out of Michael Cera. Like this is you just there's no difference in and I'm sure there absolutely is, but there's like no difference between Scott Pilgrim and Michael Cera in my brain. It just like that's who Cera was born to play, and he could have retired, and that would have been, you know, a remarkable achievement for someone.
I didn't know he's made anything since then. I honestly, I don't think I've seen a Michael Cera movie since Scott Pilgrim versus the World 10 years ago.
That was 2010. We're at the 10th anniversary right now. There is supposed to be, by the way, a soundtrack re-release with a bunch of bonus stuff, but it hasn't happened yet. It was announced in August. So there's supposed to be a soundtrack and a score re-release from one of those weird companies that only Jens knows about. But it hasn't happened yet as far as I can tell. But
I was going to say, I think the only movie I've seen him in since Scott Pilgrim was him playing himself in This Is the End. Yeah. I guess that's
that's right.
Yeah.
He was in that.
Yeah.
He died quickly.
For a moment, yeah.
Juno was before Scott Pilgrim, wasn't it? Or was it?
Yeah,
after?
that was 2007.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, I love pretty much every frame of Scott Pilgrim. I still remember like wanting to watch it when I was still living with my parents many, many years ago. This is probably 6 or 7 years ago. When my mom was still alive, and I was like, it was like the middle of a Saturday afternoon, and the only TV that I had access to was the TV in the living room. I was like, Mom, I know you're watching like Ghost Adventures or whatever, but can I'm gonna have the TV for an hour and a half and watch this movie. And as soon as the credits rolled, she looks over at me and she says, I hated that. That was awful. I was like, there's no accounting for taste, Mom. I'm sorry you have terrible taste.
My parents, when they saw The Shape of Water, you would have thought I'd shown them like a snuff film or something. Like they were so aghast.
Oh,
Like it was the weirdest reaction. I was just like, all right.
I think I could top that because I actually got my parents preview tickets to American Beauty before it came out. So they saw it before I did. Yeah, and my dad was like, so you can get an Oscar for wanting to bang a cheerleader? I'm like, that's kind of not the point, but sure, yes, you can. But yeah, there's no accounting for parents' taste.
No, there is not. I don't know what else I could really say about Scott Pilgrim that I haven't said before, because there's nothing new that I really noticed on this.
Did you catch any more X's hidden in the background?
Okay, I did catch a bunch of the like little stuff here and there. Like I was watching more intently for, little X's or little numbers and stuff. But it's not anything groundbreaking, and you can probably go on IMDb or somewhere and see, here's the 945
Oh,
Easter
I'm sure
eggs.
there's a Looper video or something.
Yeah,
Oh God.
Here's all the X's you didn't see in
Or
Scott Pilgrim
Watch
versus the
Mojo.
World. Yeah.
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 I'm sure there's a
It's
video
just
out there of all that stuff.
the thing about that movie is it's just a movie that makes me happy.
Yeah,
Like watching it, just I enjoy every second of that movie.
yeah. I think it's just like the details that I noticed this time around because I was watching it slightly more critically, and nothing that's like, again, nothing worthy of mention. Just the fact that there are so many little things that are outside of where your eye is being directed. Like you're being directed to, like watch Michael Cera's face in one scene, or you know, watch something going on in the action, and there's just some little detail floating off in the, you know, floating off in the background, maybe not even in focus, just so many little things. And that's something that like Edgar Wright fucking loves to do, is put all of those little details in places where nobody gives a shit about it. It's like a Hieronymus Bosch painting. There's just something everywhere in all of his movies. Now, they're not like all like trumpets coming out of butts like a Hieronymus Bosch painting, but
Is this that show on Amazon? I've never seen it. It sounds weird.
what's that?
Nothing. I said, is this that show on Amazon? I've never seen it. It sounds weird.
It's a
Yeah,
painting.
that movie's weird because there's so many people that were not a big deal when they were in that movie that are
Yeah.
suddenly like now a huge deal.
Yeah. Like Alison Brie. I saw this may have been the thing that
You mean
kicked off
Brie Larson?
my
Because
brain.
I don't think Alison Brie's in it.
Are you sure?
Brie Larson?
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, that's what I
There's
meant,
Aubrey
yeah.
Plaza. And,
Yeah. Sorry, I got my brains
That's all right.
mixed up there.
It's two different Bries.
Brie was close.
Yeah, it had Brie in it.
You had a Brie going.
Right. Brie Larson. Yeah. There was a meme that was like, 10 years ago, all of the neckbeards were like, Brie Larson. And now all the neckbeards are like, fuck Brie Larson.
It's because they couldn't.
Right. Aubrey Plaza, Chris Evans.
Yeah, Anna Kendrick and Kieran
Anna
Culkin.
Kendrick. Yes, Kieran Culkin. I can't think of anybody else who's like huge. Oh, I want to say her name is Ellen Wong.
Yes.
The girl who played Knives Chow. She was in Glow, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No, I started watching Glow. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she's grown up just enough that she looks just slightly different, in that I didn't immediately recognize her, but also Knives Chow is the best. While we're on the subject of Knives Chow, and Scott Pilgrim does not deserve somebody who's as good as Knives Chow is to him. She's got the best character arc, I think. Like, yeah, Scott Pilgrim starts to not be shitty, but like Knives Chow learns some lessons and grows up, and anyway, I feel like I'm about to start rambling at this point, but I love Scott Pilgrim, and if you haven't watched it, you should absolutely watch it. It's on Netflix, so you don't even have to.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, you don't even have to leave your couch.
Nice.
I didn't have to go grab my Blu-ray and put it in a vessel for it to be played, and that was convenient.
Yes, you can click a button
so-
like the Lord intended.
Right. So once I finished that, I was like, man, I should really watch all the Edgar Wright movies.
That's
Cool.
never a bad thing to think.
Never a bad idea. It's also like the easiest thing in the world to watch 5 movies. That's his entire filmography, is with the exception of one unreleased feature length movie that he made when he was like 22 with some of his friends. Um, there's 5 movies, so that's
Mm-hmm.
11, 12 hours maybe at the outside. Um, and I just started at the oldest, Shaun of the Dead. And I was like, holy shit, this is his first actual movie. I know he did a lot of, did a lot of work before that, but man, for that to be your first outing, Shaun of the fucking Dead, and
I mean, to be fair, Shaun of the Dead is basically just a feature-length episode of Spaced with a slightly different theme happening. I mean, I'm not putting down
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is amazing. I'm just saying, like, that was an easy transition from going to Spaced and being familiar with all these people and like, I know what you could do and why you're funny and let's go.
yeah, but to put together a feature length film that's awesome. It's great. Like, I have not always been super high on Shaun of the Dead because it just for some reason didn't click with me like the first time I watched it, and every subsequent time, I think I've seen it maybe 5 times now. Every subsequent time it's really, it's grabbed me more and more and more. And it is probably not my favorite. Well, I mean, for them to be 1 through 5, like, okay, the worst. If I say the worst Edgar Wright movie is Shaun of the Dead, that's not really,
True.
Well, I don't know about that.
like that's. It's hard to say. I'm not saying that it's the quote unquote worst,
I know.
but saying it's the worst Edgar Wright movie is like, saying that this is the worst bar of gold I've ever held in my hands. Harlow looked like he was.
No, I'm just
bursting
laughing
at the
because I
seams.
keep going like, not true, inaccurate. Every time you pause, it's not, and I'm
Yeah.
because the world's end is the answer to that.
I feel weird because the first time I watched it, like the thing I was most focused on was the office reunion that happens for like 2 seconds in the alleyway when they basically meet the other group who's exactly like them, except one's led by oh God, what is his name now? Martin
Freeman.
Fuck.
Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Martin Freeman, and then and you've already like he's already got a member of the office as his group. So like, and they all just kind of like nod at each other as they go by.
I thought
Like,
Martin
there's so
Freeman
much
was
good
just.
stuff like that, just hidden in there that
I thought the
people
leader
like
of
me
the
are
other
like, holy
group
shit,
was
yes,
the lady.
and then everyone else is like, okay, yeah, because there's like a meta joke as far as like, all right, this group is exactly like us.
I thought the other group was led by his counterpart in Spaced. Isn't it led by a lady? And I think Martin Freeman's in the group.
I think so, yes. Yeah, Martin Freeman's part of the group, and
Why can't I remember her name? But whatever. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember most of the people's names from.
And then the one guy acknowledges the whole Harry Potter thing as well, which I appreciated by that point.
I'm gonna pull up the IMDb because there's one.
Yeah.
There's one actress who I recognize, and I meant to look this up earlier. And I just want to make sure that I remember her from the right things.
Because it's Edgar Wright. It's the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucy Davis.
That would be the office lady that we were just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which I've watched more than it deserves. She's one of the main characters in that, and so that's what's most fresh in my mind. And I was like, every time I looked at her, I was like, she's so much younger, and she's.
Yes, we know. We saw her in Wonder Woman too.
Mm-hmm.
I just dropped my microphone.
Oh, okay.
So like she's so much younger and she's playing. I keep knocking things over, like almost the same character, and I don't know. It worked. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead is so good for a directorial debut. And I like I said, I like it more and more every time I watch it. Um, it's it's got such a like simple copy and paste plot, but all of the jokes and all of the all of the visuals are executed super well, and it introduces um, Simon Pegg falling over a fence, which
Hmm.
happens in the rest of the Cornetto trilogy as well.
Yeah.
Um, Pretty much every time you put Simon Pegg on screen,
Sort of. I
uh,
mean, it's variations on it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
They're not all exactly the same, but he does it. He does it in all three. Um,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
Well, it's Hot
To
Fuzz.
me,
He leaps over like fucking this is no problem, right? like yeah, badass.
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
to,
Sorry,
Yeah.
it was Nick Frost that crashed
yeah,
through the fence.
yeah. To me, what sells Shaun of the Dead the most is when they decide to get serious near the end. Like everyone involved sells it because it's been super
Yeah,
jokey throughout, and then by the end, when when Sean's like, when it's basically having to take out a character that he's connected with, he freaks out on everybody, and it's like you buy it,
yeah,
because it's like that moment where somebody who's always jokey suddenly gets super serious with you, and then it's like, oh shit, this is real. Like that movie does a good job of balancing out that seesaw, especially by the time it gets to the end of that movie.
yeah. Um, it's weird because it sort of, with the exception of Nick Frost's character, everybody else is pretty much playing it straight. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
funny things happen, um, which is a great way, in my opinion, to do comedy. Is just put people in funny situations. You don't have to necessarily write a joke a minute because there aren't many jokes. There are just funny things that continually happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then um, once I'd watched, I think it was, I'm not sure if I made the decision to watch the whole Edgar Wright oeuvre at Shaun of the Dead, or before Shaun of the Dead, or if I just thought, like, let me go back and watch this. Um, but by the time I finished Shaun of the Dead, I was definitely in the I should watch all of these Edgar Wright movies. So then I watched Hot Fuzz next, which is almost like the opposite, where everybody plays it really serious until you get to the end where it gets fucking ridiculous. Because like the beginning of, or the first like 2/3 of Hot Fuzz is, or Shaun of the Dead, goofy and irreverent, but then you have serious things that happen. But the first 2/3 of Hot Fuzz are like a straight, not quite buddy cop, but a straight cop mystery sort of thing. And then it gets ridiculous at the end when Simon Pegg's character is like, "Okay, fuck it, we're doing this now. Like, I'm gonna ride a horse with two shotguns." And
Mm-hmm.
um,
They
that
watch Bad
movie,
Boys too, and then
they
they
do,
decide.
Yeah,
yeah.
shit got real.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna
Um,
do?
the shit, I lost my point. I was almost there.
Sorry.
It's okay.
They're mirror images of each other.
Yeah,
It's all goofy and then serious and then it's serious and then goofy. Yeah. So
yeah. Oh, I was the fuck. I forgot again. Um, I thought I had it, but I didn't. Um, but Simon Pegg is really acting the shit out of most of that movie. Like Hot Fuzz is, he is doing some, like, I'm being a serious man and doing serious things without without overblowing it, without like, this is acting, without taking it to the Matt Berry sort of extreme. Um, he's doing serious ass acting, and it's a really straightforward movie. Like um, it's really serious for a long time until
It's mostly serious. I mean, I wouldn't qualify it as serious. I'm just thinking about like one of my favorite like one-off like I don't know why this scene popped in my head the other day. I didn't rewatch these or with you or anything, but this scene literally out of nowhere popped in my head. The when he goes to see his ex-girlfriend at the crime scene and everyone's in the like hazmat suits where you can't see anything, and he thinks he's talking to her, he's not talking to her, and then he's like, well, I'm seeing this guy over here. He's like, hello. Just like I don't know why that scene is just fucking brilliant. Like,
it's really funny,
well,
but
yeah,
it's also just like
yes,
it's such a very straight
it's like
laced
yes, I mean it is like
thing.
Shaun of the Dead is like Shaun is a normal guy put into extraordinary situations and not unable to deal with it. Just like I don't know, continue to do most of the things I do in my normal life, I guess. And Nick Angel is like a serious man with like put in ridiculous situations, like a ridiculously serious man put in ridiculous situations, and and so yeah, it's just it's the opposite kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how much of that movie's pop culture cachet is the third act. There's like 90% of what people know and remember about Hot Fuzz is from the third act of that movie. Um, but none of it is plot related. It's all scene to scene to scene, or joke to joke to joke. Um, I remembered nothing about the whole cult aspect, I guess. Not really, it's not really a cult, but the whole secret society of people trying to keep, you know, uh, trying to keep this little township exactly the way it was. I remembered nothing about that plot, um, which is really stupid and also really fun. Um,
They were just trying to make Sanford great again,
yes,
which
thank
is
you for
weird.
bringing that up.
Yes, which is weird because that's a weird prescient thing.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate you bringing it up because they said that line, and that's Shaun of the Dead is 2004, and
Yeah,
Hot Fuzz is
2004.
2007, I think.
Yeah.
And I just like my head cocked like a dog. I was like, "Oh, did they rewind?" No, they actually said that. It was
Mhm.
yeah, it was really weird. Um, but I really like Hot Fuzz. Obviously, if you don't, you're an idiot. And please unsubscribe from the podcast. Uh,
I mean,
but
Hot Fuzz is amazing. Just if like you're a fan of like British anything, like that movie is so fucking loaded with people. That movie is
oh yeah,
insane. Like it's just like here's Bill Bailey sitting as like the desk clerk, and
as
like
two desk
yeah,
clerks.
two desk clerks. Sorry, like here's Olivia Colman over here, just here's Hot Tits McGee or whatever her name is. Like
I love that they have like that one scene with Patty Constantine has become like this gif where where he kind of slides into the frame
Yes.
and he's
Oh,
talking
God,
shit,
yes.
Shit.
and then he slides out and then he pops back into frame just to give him a dirty look, and then he leaves again.
that's the best. I love
So
Hot Fuzz
good.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I don't know where it lays in my in the top five of it's like a it's like a Foodies where like I have there's only five of them, so
They're all winners.
they're all winners. But yeah, I don't really know where it lays in my ranking of
Like I said,
best
I could
Edgar
make
Wright
I could make
films
a
of all
top
time.
five, but it's like I could rank them, but it's like I like them all. It's different if like your bottom is like you actually mean it and like I don't like this, but I like them all. So when I say
Yeah.
like the World's End is the bottom one, that's fine. It's the bottom of the top 1% of movies made. Like it's
Yeah. The World's End is definitely the one that people have like latched onto the least.
there's aspects about it I love it. It's just I don't think it's as cohesive as the other two.
I really, really like The World's End. I had forgotten one major plot point about it, which is sort of, and of course, bad with names, so I've forgotten Simon Pegg's character's name. Um,
Oh,
Oh, now that you said that, I totally slipped out of my mind.
yeah,
Gary.
yeah,
Gary.
Gary
Yeah.
Gary King. Yeah.
Gary fucking
Yeah,
King.
because like I will say, like Gary is one of the characters I associate with most on this earth, aside from Niles in Palm Springs.
Wait, you associate with him?
Yes,
Really?
They
yes,
hang out
with
together.
Gary.
Oh, you want to hang out with
Well,
Gary, or you think you
no,
are Gary?
as in like I feel that character on a deep level,
Oh,
at least in the beginning of the movie.
okay.
Yes.
All right. I've not
But
known
yeah.
you to like still be, like steeped in nostalgia. You seem to be fairly anti-nostalgia.
Not necessarily. It's
Okay.
it's hard to explain, but
All
it's
right.
like World's End. That's the one that's like I feel like it's aimed at my age specifically, especially with the music choices that they use from all that early '90s Britpop. Like that all the pre-grunge stuff that someone who was in high school at that time would be like, "Oh shit, that song! Oh yeah, that song!" And it's
Oh
like,
shit! It's that Soup Dragon CD or tape.
Yeah,
like,
and then it's
you
like-
had that in your
and
car when
that's-
we used to ride this. It's the same tape.
and that's Gary.
Yeah.
Like, is this guy like? Obviously, I don't fully Obviously, I've moved on in my life, but with him, as far as he's still stuck right there in that time period, right there. And I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of what I associate with it.
All right.
For me, the whole like I want to feel like that again. Like that was the best I've ever felt in my entire life, and I want to feel that again. It's not that I totally identify it, but I get it. Because there have been a lot of times where I'd like look back on certain moments where like, man, I was having so much fun, like not a care in the world. Anytime before 2016, like life was okay. We were gonna make it. We were having good times, and especially right now, man, motherfuck this. Like, if I could try to go out and do my own relive the Golden Mile, I absolutely would. So I understand that perspective, but I love the fact that it goes fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it the first time. I remembered it. I think this is the second or maybe third time I've watched it. I knew it was going to go bonkers, but I forgot just how ludicrous it goes. And I love that. And it's got just as much of the style and timing that we all love out of Edgar Wright. It's just different. There's something a little bit different, and I can't exactly figure out what it is about it. But there's just some sort of,
It's missing something,
it may be,
and I'm
that
not
it's
sure
just-
what it is.
I think it's a little dark, and not dark as in subject matter, or not dark as in Gary King's issues. It's just, I think, filmed a little dark, and because it all for the most part takes place at night, that makes sense. But there's none of that brightness to it that there is, none of that, with the exception of the blue, none of that really jovial use of color.
Now,
So
did he do World's End after Scott Pilgrim? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
yes,
Which is weird because
World's
like
End was
that was like a 2011, 12, something like that.
It's 2013.
2013. That late?
13.
Okay.
There you go.
But yeah, like it's weird because I think one of the big problems, again, still like the movie, just putting on a record, is that Gary King ultimately is not particularly a likable character. But it's weird because like he tackled it so much better with Scott Pilgrim. Like Scott Pilgrim's in the same boat, but it's just like it's kind of weird because like you have this protagonist who's like an ass-tagonist because all his friends are like fucking hell this guy, so it's just like and I think maybe it's because like all of his surrounding people are just like kind of start naysaying him a little too early. Like, they're like, oh, mate, we're old, like, like, and
Yeah,
I
well,
feel
they're
like,
all people who have moved on with their
yeah,
lives, and Gary has not.
right. And it's like, there's something about like, at least Scott Pilgrim's support group is still with him, even though they probably shouldn't be. So it's just like, you kind of like, you feel like, well, I'm supposed to be following this character, but like, why? Because everyone from the get-go is telling me don't. Like, he's wrong, So
Yeah, and I think that's the difference with the others is like he and Nick Frost are very much at odds
Mhm.
throughout the entire movie. It's not like they ever really buddy up, and I think that makes a difference because like kind of having a sidekick in both Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and especially those two because of the chemistry between them. I think the chemistry is off because Nick Frost has to play the movie almost the entire movie being like, no, get away from me. I don't want anything to do with you. And I think that vibe doesn't play as well as it does in, the first two Cornetto movies.
I think that doesn't help the vibe. I think Nick Frost plays it really well, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Like,
like
I don't think any of the performances are bad. I
Yeah.
just think like it's a different chemistry than what we're used to. And it doesn't necessarily play as well, I
Yeah.
guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know how much more I have to say about the end of the world, except no, I forgot. I forgot
Yeah.
what I was going to
I-
say. I've been
I
talking
just-
for so long, my brain
Yeah.
has now expired.
I will say
Uh,
I appreciate that ending so much.
like the actual
Because
ending.
I was not expecting the ending that they go with in that movie at all.
You should watch it if you don't know what we're talking about because it goes places.
Yeah.
So speaking of endings, I finished it off with Baby Driver, which I think I've seen it once at home since it came out, and for very specific reasons because I don't because fucking Kevin Spacey. I'll just put it out there.
Yeah.
I just was not really comfortable watching Kevin Spacey because the first time I saw it after the theaters was before all of the Spacey stuff came out, and I think, and I like this movie too much to not watch it again, and to not go back to it when I feel like going back to it. Man, Baby Driver is so fucking good. It's like,
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately to me, it's like this perfect symbol of like now, like here's this thing that is probably, I mean, I love Scott Pilgrim. I love all the movies to death, and I'm going to stop defending them. Baby Driver's my number one, easily. Like, that movie was fucking
Obviously.
stepped into my head and fucking made for me. And I, other people I'm sure feel like I don't think I'm fucking special, but
we know you're not.
yeah. But like, yeah, I mean, it's just like now it's got this stain. It's like, ugh, like here's this thing that is to me like a fucking otherwise perfect, and now it's like I have to look at it and be like, yeah, but. And I just hate the fucking yeah buts, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the great thing is that you can pretend Kevin Spacey is literally anyone else because as much as I have praised Spacey's acting in the past, he could be fucking anybody. Anybody with a SAG card could play Spacey's role in Baby Driver.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that's the only failing is that Spacey's just there.
There's like two interactions that are patently Spacey, unfortunately, and it's basically where it's like he calls him out and does the like, was he slow? Like that's the thing I would see not playing correctly, or they could just alter the way it's delivered. But that is very much that line only works because he's delivering it. Like I'm just saying that like dismissive, like I am in charge, fuck you, you're an idiot. Like that was the thing he had going for him at the time. So yeah,
I will
I'm happy for a CG replacement of him. Please go right ahead. Like, get Christopher Plummer.
Just
on
get
it.
Christopher Plummer to film all his parts.
That band needs to hurry because like there's like he also needs to redo Glengarry Glen Ross and probably American Beauty and a couple other ones that are fucking great movies minus Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Was that Spacey's last movie before everyone realized he was a complete piece of shit?
Well, they was doing all the money in the world but they hadn't released it, so that's where you got the Christopher Plummer thing.
Yeah.
But I think it was right around there.
So I think so maybe not anybody with a SAG card could replace him, but because of that line. But I think there are a lot of people out there that could
Oh yeah,
we could just cut and paste over.
I was saying if you put most people saying that line and be like that's lame, but like you could rewrite it and I'm okay with that. Like, it's not that great of a line. It's not that great of a line delivery. It's very patently like a Spacey line. Like that's the kind of thing you could see he was typing and like, all right, Spacey will sell this.
Yeah. You can really tell that Edgar Wright had been thinking about this movie and planning this movie, and almost like I don't know if he did this, but it's almost feels like everything is planned out to the second in this movie. And I don't know how you accomplish that. I don't know how you plan that well. Like I know I can get pretty into the weeds on trying to plan stuff out, but I just can't imagine how you put something together that is so detailed, so well timed, and so whole at the same time. Like it's a tour de force. Everything is pretty much fucking perfect.
Yeah.
There aren't enough. I'm mad that Baby Driver didn't win like every fucking award that year. It won 2 or 3.
Not enough.
Yeah, I know it did get sound editing or whatever the other sound category was, and I was like, come on. Like, who the fuck else are you going to give it to at this point?
Right.
I do wonder, like that's a movie I think I need to watch the commentary for because I'm curious how many takes they did of the going to get coffee sequence with the lyrics on the spray graffiti and everything. And the thing is, like, it doesn't sync up perfectly. But I'm wondering if they couldn't take more takes because where the fuck it is. Like that's like downtown Atlanta, like shutting down a street. I'm just saying, like, it lines up remarkably well. It's a little off from time to time, and that's my nitpick. That's me being honest. Like, there's a couple times where it's like it's just slightly off, where it's like it'll do part of the song and then you have to take like another step and it shows up. But it's fine. I mean, it's amazing. It's just it's like I bet that drove Edgar Wright mad that he couldn't get it perfect because he just seems like that Kubrickian kind of thing where it's like everything has to be fucking perfect.
It won a BAFTA, and that was the biggest award it won, by the way, for best editing, which absolutely deserves. But
good thing is you can watch that intro sequence as many times as you like. There is 0 Kevin Spacey.
That's true.
Watch all the Bell Bottoms intro you want.
It should be on. It's probably on repeat in your head, Harlow, but it should be on just repeat in the background of everybody's home, at least somewhere, just off in like the second TV
like
up in
in
the
a
corner.
picture frame, just
Yeah.
an animated GIF of that entire sequence, just repeating over and over again.
But like one of those digital picture frames. Just run the
Yeah,
and anytime you want, right? Anytime you want, you can just press a button and it'll turn the sound on. I think I'm gonna try to rank all the Edgar Wrights for me.
We'll wrap it up,
It's gonna be tough. Scott Pilgrim. Not because it's a better movie than Baby Driver, but because I like it more. It's more me than Baby Driver. Baby Driver. Because it's a fucking amazing. It's so fucking good. Who the fuck is Ansel Elgort and why is he so good?
No, he's not.
Is he a bad
he's
person?
a shithead too. Yes.
Yeah, he's bad now
God
too.
damn it.
Yep.
I'm glad you got to watch it not knowing that, because you would have been driven absolutely mad.
Wait,
if
what
you'd-
the fuck did he do? I didn't hear about this.
There's a lot of grooming stuff, and
Yeah,
yep.
he's on the list.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Ansel Elgort is a nice actor, I guess.
He's not an actor. He is Baby. That is the only thing that exists. Is that character on screen?
Baby.
That's a solid way of looking at it.
There's something maddeningly good about him being called Baby. Like, I've forgotten the actress's name.
Lily
Lily
James.
James.
Lily James. The way she says his name is outstanding. It's not sexual or anything. It's just like a delivery that I really like.
So is he British too, Ansel shithead Elgort? Because I know she is, and doing a very convincing. I mean, that's the secret to doing an American accent is just do a dialect. But
Yeah.
but
You mean asshole Elgort?
sure?
I get it.
Ansel go to court.
Oh shit!
Got him.
Yeah.
So Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver.
He's American, by the way.
Okay.
Damn.
Despite the name Ansel Elgort,
I was just gonna say it's
maybe he's
like-
Finnish and he's pretending to be American.
Right. He's Uwe Boll's neighbor.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, End of the World.
The World's End.
World's End.
Yeah.
World's End, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. It always
One's a
tracks
movie,
in
the
my
other
brain
one's
is-
real life.
End of the world is what we're in.
yeah. That's
Right.
it's a documentary. Mikey will be watching it for next week's show.
Right.
The thing is that the World's End pub, because it's also the end of the Golden Mile. Like that's where my brain takes a detour and is like, no, it's just called the end of the world. It's fine. But yeah,
What was 3/4? I missed that. Hot Fuzz, then Shaun of the Dead.
Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and then World's End.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I need to take your journey myself because it's been like Shaun of the Dead, like I've seen it 4 or 5 times, but it's been probably 10 years since the last time I did. And then, Hot Fuzz, strangely enough, I think I've only seen that once.
I've only seen it once.
And same with World's End. And World's End, it was just maybe I wasn't in the mood or whatever, but it was just kind of like it didn't hit me the way I was hoping it would, okay, you got all these people in this movie. You got Edgar Wright directing, it's like, all right, bring it. And somehow it's just not quite there. And I think I need to watch it again without those kind of expectations.
I think that's important. I think that's why. Oh, we've talked a lot about how hype, messes with things, and I think my Baby Driver hype, going into it was like the first time I watched it with Harlow, was just way too high, and I don't think anything could have met my expectations for what my hype gave me.
It
which is
100% hit
my
my
fault.
expectations. I was so fucking hyped for
I
that
was
movie.
vibrating
and I still,
during the bell bottom sequence. Like I was just
Yeah.
like I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
So the takeaway from this is Edgar Wright has made 5 movies and they're all awesome and you should watch them. Also, Edgar Wright has a very strange fascination with liquids being poured into something and levers being activated in close proximity to that. I don't remember where that is in Baby Driver. Maybe it's the coffee scene, but he really loves toilets, tap handles, either beer tap handles or faucet tap handles.
He loves quick inserts.
Yes.
I feel like though that that became a signature thing for him just out of self-awareness though. Because I mean the joke in The World's End only works because of the other 2 movies. Like the fact that
Yeah.
you are like ready for that, like pouring of the beer's cut shot, and then you get the for the water. It's just like that only
Yeah.
works because you've watched the other movies. Like that is fucking brilliant. So
I think that can stand alone, but it's definitely
Sure.
not as impactful.
right, I'm just saying like if you've watched Hot Fuzz or you've watched Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and then you get to
Yeah.
that, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is his thing, and now he just subverted it. So that's
Yeah.
great.
One thing about Hot Fuzz that I think I might have said on the Twitters, but everything pays off in Hot Fuzz. Like almost literally everything that's set up in Hot Fuzz pays off, which is a rarity. And for the most part, like Edgar Wright doesn't leave you hanging, but especially in Hot Fuzz, I noticed it. And I'm going to shut up now because I feel like I've been talking for an entire hour.
That's
about
only because you
Edgar Wright
have.
movies. What's that?
No, I said that's only because you have. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I wasn't timing you. No, your homework now is please watch Spaced. Am I still the only one that's watched Spaced?
Yes.
Please. I mean, I don't know what I have to do. Like,
I will find a place where it is available and watch it.
okay,
I have time.
all right. It's great. I just been trying to sell it for forever.
How many episodes is it?
It's a 2-season British thing, which means there's like 8. No,
Yeah,
I'm, just,
okay, I
I'm
was
saying
gonna say
like
maybe 20.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Not
no,
even
there's
that
many.
there's more than that. I'm just saying it's not many because it's they quality over quantity is what they believe in.
I will watch it. I need something like that because that was like late 90s, right?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Maybe I think it was like right around. Yeah, I mean it was either late 90s, spinning into early 2000s, somewhere right around there. I mean,
Yeah.
he went into Shaun of the Dead not too long after it because he did other stuff
It's-
too. So
14 episodes?
Yeah.
7 episodes per season. So,
yeah,
okay.
it's a quick watch.
All right. I'll knock that out this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Chuck, you have some things to talk about, don't you?
I'm gonna keep mine until next time.
Really?
Oh no,
Yep.
I've monopolized the
They're
podcast.
they are old things, not terribly important. So
Aw.
I will bust them out next time.
Are they at all related? Can you give us a hint? Create-
One's a kids movie from the late '80s.
Sweet. Did you
The
watch
other
Mac and Me
two are
again?
Huh?
Did you watch Mac and Me again?
Yeah, totally. The other two are the first two Bill and Ted movies.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait, are you the one that told me you've never seen a Bill and Ted? No, you never saw Bill and Ted's 2.
I never saw Bogus Journey. Mackey's the one who's never seen Bill and Ted.
Like at all?
I've seen parts of them, but I could not tell you anything about either of them at this point. So I intend to rewatch them, and they put the third one on sale for like $19.99. I'm like, maybe I might have to do that.
I
'cause-
should have done the triple pack when it was like $30, but I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I already owned the first two, so it was like, all right, whatever.
Wait,
But
do you own
enough
them? You've
people
never
now
seen
are like, like I know a few people who have rewatched Bill and Ted 3 like multiple times now. So I'm I feel like I need to get there.
Wait, so I'm curious. Why did you have digital copies? Because you found like the discs cheap or something? Because
No, I think they were on sale on like Xbox or something for like $3
Okay.
at some point. And I was like, all right, cool.
I mean, I have movies I've never seen, but never like specifically. It's just because it was like in a weird fucking bundle. Or Chuck sent me a code.
Yeah, I want to say it was like a 2-pack of them
Yeah.
at some point, like on Vudu or one of those. I can't remember, but honestly, like I feel like I didn't spend any more than like $5 on them.
Yeah,
Okay.
those were movies that like from before they said they were going to make a third one. Those were movies that was like they couldn't give them away. It was just like, please take these.
Well, yeah, and it
dead
doesn't
ones.
help. I want to say they were like, what are they, Orion? So like they defaulted to MGM or something. So it was like they're not on Movies Anywhere. So that kind of they have to sell them cheap in order to sell them at this point.
I'm honestly flabbergasted that those companies are still holding out from doing movies
Yeah.
anywhere. Like, what's the reasoning at this point? Like, I don't
They're
understand.
just waiting to be bought by Disney at this point.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the,
we'll talk about this
the Lionsgate sale would go really well to Disney. That's right in their wheelhouse of things that they make.
Oh yeah, all of them Saw movies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Eh.
I mean, isn't Blumhouse like under Lionsgate and stuff like that? I mean, like, yeah. Or is
they're
that separate?
more affiliated with Universal.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they're known for like Saw movies and shit like that. It's just
Yeah.
whatever.
So, anyway,
Okay. Well, contact info. Do we want to do some of that? Like I said, I have nothing. So.
Yeah. If Chuck's not going to talk about his stuff, then
Nope.
yeah, bmfcast.com is your place to go for all things Bamfcast. BMF at bmfcast.com is your email to go to for all things Bamfcast email. And 9105-JOCK-BMF or 910-556-9263 is your phone number to go to for all things telephone related for the Bamfcast. Chuck really likes when you take a stupid joke too far.
all things telephone related.
But yeah, and if you, for all things supporting this podcast related, go to patreon.com/bmfcast. And I'm not going to do an over-sexual Patreon joke this time, but
No.
maybe if we add another couple patrons in the next week, I'll come up with a hideous money, wallet, tongue, butthole thing for next time.
I don't know. I don't know what what the young people are into these days. I don't know if they're still into buttholes or if it's moved on to something else.
I
Nah.
don't think they can be right now.
No.
Nah, ass is done.
Oh, so it's just all like like self-love at this point, basically. Like it's just all new
Just
weird
jerking it on
masturbation
FaceTime.
techniques and stuff. Yeah.
Must be.
Yeah.
Must be just jacking it.
Yeah, if free porn sites are anything to go by, it's basically whoever's in the house.
Yep. You'll do.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole
Mom got stuck under the couch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
there's a whole
What?
It sucks. It's the worst.
Porn is
go to
fucking
free porn
terrible right
sites.
now.
Yeah, don't
It's
don't
so bad.
just don't look at porn. It's bad.
It's
It's
yes.
for
really,
some reason.
now's the time to take the stance that porn is bad.
yeah. Yeah, just immediately go to the search bar, type 90s. That's all you got to do. That got Chuck. That one got him.
Wait, 90s? Like I'm so confused. Like 90s. Like,
Type 90s.
Just type 90s because that you know what 90s was? It was good looking people having sex.
Yep.
oh,
like-
I thought we were still talking about weird shit. I thought you were like banging non-generians or something.
90s. That's the thing. 90s was like
No,
if there was weird shit,
1990s.
Yeah.
it wasn't out there.
Man, I like those G gilfs, the great grandmothers.
Yeah. Now they're all just like it's a Shape of Water porn parody, and it's like okay, let's move on. Thank you.
I did have this. So, whatever. I know we just wrapped up, and we've got this can lead into the bonus bullshit. You will find a
Oh,
beautiful
okay.
edit somewhere from our past thing that now that
Good
we're
luck,
just.
Chuck.
I'm just saying that we're going into this too. I just have to point out that like I was made aware of some dumb porn thing because somebody was like, "Haha, look at my like Zoom background or whatever, Teams background." And I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
At work.
Was it the casting couch?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it was, and I was like, yes, and so like he does this and like starts laughing maniacally, and I'm just like, what? And he's like, you don't know what this is? He's like, you know what this is? I'm like, no, it looks like is this a porn thing? Because it's so fucking Spartan. I mean, like, and then he's like, yeah, it's I can't remember the name, and I was like, is it called the casting couch? He was like, I fucking knew you knew it. And I was like, no, it's the fucking basest level like first draft thing I could think of, and that's what fucking porn is now. I was like. I thought I had to explain what the concept of the casting couch was, and then like this person was like, I'm just getting into a diatribe of shitting on this person, but like
I love how we've all become the Colonel. We're like, it was better back before everything came in and ruined it.
well, I was just like, I was like, it's the fucking like. Like as soon as they were just like a porn parody, it was like, fuck that. Like, come up with the clever ass names. Like, there's a billion different terms for sex shit, and you just take a word and substitute it. It's not that fucking hard to come up with like a funny porn title, And like he was like, I knew it was a fucking casting couch. I was like, no, that's a fucking old saying. Like, you know who Harvey Weinstein is? I'm like, and he was like, no. And I'm like, fuck off. Like, fuck you. I don't know what planet you're from.
Well,
I could just see you slamming your
Yeah.
laptop.
I was like, I said
day,
good,
sir.
I said good day, sir. And he was like, when did this happen? I'm like, this fucking year. I'm like, now the motherfucker just went to jail. Where are you living? I'm like, I'm not talking about some ancient shit. I was like, the sentencing just happened like 6 months ago. Like,
How does someone not know who Harvey
yeah.
Weinstein is?
I was like one of the
literally,
biggest
how
fucking
he-
studio people in
That's
Hollywood.
like Chuck
yeah.
not knowing Hey Ya.
Yeah. I was just like,
How?
I was like,
where have you been?
yeah, he was like trying to
Were you
pay me in the
in
corner. Like,
exile? What
Watching
happened?
casting couch videos.
I get
on
that shit all the
YouPorn.
time, and I'm like, you're a single guy, you know about porn. I'm like, no, I don't fucking know about porn. Like, what the fuck is there to know about porn? It's stupid. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like same reason I'd rather paint a picture than watch Bob Ross. You know, like, I'm just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The correct response
Yes,
is
I should have. Yes, you're right. You're right. I didn't. I was so flabbergasted at the time. I couldn't even think of that. I was just like, how do you not fucking know who that is? Like, you know. I was like, look, I know you're too young to like know who O.J. Simpson is, but it's like you go and like, you know, if it'd been 1995 and I go like, you know, it's like O.J. and you're like, who? You know, like I'm like, where the fuck have you been? like first you should know him as an athlete, and then maybe as a murderer. You know,
Yeah. And then maybe you watch Made in America.
yeah, or
Come
the Naked
on.
Gun movies. I mean, like, I'm just saying. like,
or as a meme or something.
sure, I'm not saying whether or not he did or did not know who O.J. Simpson is. I was equating it to like. That would be like in 1995 if someone was, you know, like OJ. They'd be like, who? You know, I felt like that was in the fucking Kids of the Hall sketch. It's like the Beatles. I've never heard of them. You know, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the four of us get references from before our time.
Mhm.
Like if somebody says, you know, makes a Lawrence Welk joke, like, okay, yeah, we didn't watch the fucking Lawrence Welk show. Maybe you did. But we know who Lawrence Welk is, at least. And we know sort of generally the context for that. Are we special, unique snowflakes, or is this a...
I think it's more age and the fact that we grew up with monoculture, which doesn't exist anymore. And now culture is so fractured with everything that, you know, after I would say like 2000, maybe even earlier, once cable channels really cut loose in like the early 90s, that everything just went every direction. Whereas when we were younger, it was like, you know, you had CBS and you had NBC and you had ABC and you liked it. Whatever was on there was what you fucking knew, you know, and that's part of it, is like being with parents who are like, yeah, you know, that. And whereas now it's like everything is so fractured that
No one can have a shared experience on anything anymore.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Because like shows aren't even on television
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah, or like a show starts on Netflix and by 10 o'clock on Friday, someone's like, yeah, full season. Guess what happens in the season finale? You know, whereas it was like, you know, it was a stretched out thing. And, you know, a lot of people talked about Game of Thrones being the last of the everybody watches this thing.
You mean the water
And-
cooler experience?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And like sports is the only thing that's left that's a water cool experience anymore, because it's like, you know, that's the only thing that can't be spoiled, so to speak. You know, you can't binge the 2019, you know, 2020 Jaguars NFL season. It's like,
Oh man, don't
I gotta
spoil
see
it for
how
me.
I
got
gotta
them
see
on
if
tape.
Minshew pulls it out in Game 8. You know, it's like, no, it doesn't matter.
He does. He pulls his wiener out in game.
Yeah,
eight. It
puts the
was- it's
jorts on,
amazing.
and yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. But I like, at least that's my theory, BJ.
What
is
does he
like,
What does he do with
we
the
know
tight
this
end?
stuff because it was just like this monoculture thing. And just like we know 50s and 60s songs, because in the 80s, it was like boomers are like, no, I need my comfortable music. And so they played that on all the fucking old stations. And now it's like, nobody gives a shit about the 50s and 60s. Like, find me a radio station that plays 50s music. Good luck. But I could find you like 6 of them when I was 14 in Orlando. You know, there were like every other station was like, doop bop doop ba da ba, I'm the 50s, you know, and it was like, all right, great. Enjoy.
It's like a bunch of Johnny Angelses.
Yeah, because it used to be like the best hits of the 50s, 60s, and 70s coming up right now, you know, and now and then eventually it became like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And then, you know, like in the 2000s, they were like, fuck, man, everything for the last fucking millennium, all right?
I believe
We'll
our,
play
our
it. We don't
quote-unquote
care.
classic channel now says from the 70s, 80s, and more, I believe is what they say.
It starts in the 70s, and
Yeah.
it's always
Yeah.
weird southern butt rock.
Yeah. Or like Pearl Jam being on the oldies station, and we're like,
Oh,
no,
God.
I'm old.
The,
Fuck.
the thing that
What
broke
happened?
my heart, the moment I was like, it's fucking all down from hill. I all downhill from here is like I can pinpoint it to an exact moment. There was a restaurant that I frequented a lot, and they would always have the oldies channel on, the oldies channel that's in this town. And I walked in there one day, and it was playing Prince's "Let's Go Crazy," and I just went,
Aw.
I went, fuck. This is where it starts. This is the moment. This is where it starts. Right now. This just happened. like, like,
And your mind is like, that song's 36 years old.
Yeah.
But then your heart is like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It is not that old.
and I just, yeah. And this was a long time ago. Like, it was borderline being on the oldies station when it happened. I was just like, no, like, 80s are not on oldies channel. No, no. Yeah. So, but I've accepted my fate.
Yeah.
80s
Sooner you
music.
do, the better.
80s music to us right now is what 50s music was to us in the 80s.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah, if, you made
Shit.
Back
If
to
they
the
make the
Future
future
this year,
now,
you would go back to 1990.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. You got there before I could, but if they made Back to the Future now, they need to go back to there and then. Doesn't this make you feel old?
We're
What-
closer to 1990 now than he was to this. Anyway,
Okay, those are like
I'm the king of that
I-
shit, by the way.
We make
I
fun of those,
enjoy
but like,
making fun of
yes,
those.
but the internet was beautiful when those were like the worst thing we had to complain about.
Yeah.
Yes. It was like, fuck your stupid, wholesome meme. Ugh.
those are stupid, but I like the context it puts things in.
Sure.
Like I'm not going to retweet one or post one myself for you guys to get annoyed at, but I it does put things in context for me.
Yeah. Back in the better days of Twitter, I would always put like, remember Kurt Cobain? He'd be 75 years old this year. And then like it would always like people would be like, half the people would be like,
Holy
"Man."
shit.
And then the
I'm
other
so
half
old.
would be like, you stupid fuck. He'd only be 50. I'm like, of course I know he'd only be 50. Fuck you. But those were the days, man.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
literal
the
literal
halcyon
people
days.
are the funniest shit in the world. Like people who have like literally no sense of humor and are just, I do not understand pun or play on words. What is a homonym? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love messing with them more than anyone.
Speaking of homonym, it's Bisexual Awareness Day.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
hey, BJ.
Thank you
That's a
for
pun.
thank you for letting me know, you sexy man
Hello,
who I would
bisexuals. We are
totally
aware
have
of
sex
you.
with right now.
And
Yes. Hello.
we're cool with you
Yeah,
because you are cool with literally everybody, which is awesome.
yeah.
Hello, fellas and ladies.
I remember for a hot minute, like people tried to get angry at bisexuals. They were like, "Fucking pick a side." I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
Who cares?
what do you mean? Like you could walk into a bar and be like, "I'll fuck everything." Like that's great. Like that's the best. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had that. I'm just saying, like like
Yeah.
the playing field, man. Maybe if these young kids who like are dating a lot less could turn to bisexuality, they could.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
See,
sure plenty of them
Yeah.
are.
that would be the problem for me if I was bi. I'd be like, I could go in a bar and everyone's game, and then walk out and be like, literally nobody wants me in this bar. Like literally nobody in this bar.
Yeah, man. There's just
Has any interest.
double the rejection. This sucks.
So also bisexuals, we feel you
Yeah.
because it sucks doubly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I
I guess we don't have anything else, right?
ago.
You said you were putting all that shit in the beginning into the
Oh,
episode.
this episode is going to be a deluxe nightmare.
Okay. Well, then you could cut this and find a place to edit the other thing
it's
in.
all staying in.
This is staying in. I was talking about it
all
staying
of
in is staying
He's
in.
just leaving it as
Chuck
is.
doesn't edit anything. He's just gonna.
Hey man, it's 2020. We don't edit shit.
Nah.
Okay.
Nothing
Anyway.
matters. Editing doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Nope.
So anyway, check out our Patreon.
But that doesn't make any sense to do that now. Because, like,
No,
at some
but
point,
we-
this conversation has transitioned into the pre-show banter, or you're just going to put the pre-show banter at the beginning, and then we're like, all right, we got to actually do an episode now. Like, you're just going to leave all
Chuck's
that
not
in?
going to edit anything.
This episode is airing as recorded, start to finish.
No, everything from the start goes on the Patreon, so they have to pay $1 to get bonus BS podcast.
Nope,
Yes.
that show's defunct.
You're defunct.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop recording now.
Okay.
Someone just say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes, we
Goodbye,
have to log
somebody
out. We have to
say.
say goodbye to people.
We have to actually end this, otherwise it goes in the public domain.
Oh, Jesus.
What? I don't think that's how that works.
I'm Harbco.
Yeah, I'm Slappy.
What? I'm confused.
I'm Fleep J. And I'm fuck. Yeah. All right, there you go.
Seriously, though, we need to leave.
That was
Let's get
it.
outta here.
That was it. It was
Yes.
yeah. I was gonna say that's it. That's the end. Our dumb messing up our names.
You killed Chuck. Chuck's dead. Look at him.
Mm-hmm.
He has fallen off his chair. He has suffocated himself with laughter.
Fine, we're leaving now. Goodbye. I said good day. We yield our time and fuck you. We love you.
All right.
Good.
Stop recording.
Nice. Excellent show, you guys. Best work ever.
Wow, an hour and 50 minutes of this. Holy shit.
Variety 2 hours. You could break it up and we just take next
I'll
week
just
off.
make 2 episodes.
Yeah, just like do like a hard cut like Hulu ads, just like we're like and then it just like it
Yeah.
ends. And then we just start back up in the conversation next week. That'd be great.
Sure.
I mean, we could do that in theory. We could break it into 2 episodes because if we do a no quarters thing,
We could do
True.
whatever we want.
I'm just saying we could have content on both sites at the same time.
The world is our goddamn oyster.
Or we could record a no quarters thing next week.
Let's do one right now.
No,
Let's not do that.
but we could record one next week, release Bamfcast next week, and then we'd always be a week ahead.
Wow.
But all right.
We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out in the editing room tomorrow.
You will not figure a goddamn thing
I will
out.
totally
You're just
figure this
gonna-
out. There's going to be charts.
I was trying to
There
go
we
with a
go.
plan before we started. You were like, I'm going to take this and insert it at the end. It's going to be bonus content. And that's why I was just like, we can go straight into rambling. Not we're going to have all the
Nope.
20, 30 minutes of bonus weirdness before we actually start the proper show. That doesn't.
Nope.
This
People are
is
gonna
all
love it.
good bonus weirdness.
Yep.
I mean, your plan is good, but Chuck's not going to follow it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I should have a double every time we record.
All
Are
right.
we still online?
Yeah, we are.
Hey. Hey, YouTube.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, hey,
Yeah,
hey, you two.
Listen,
yeah, we're still online.
I would tell you something.
No, shh.
If you were the internet, would you?
That's my favorite. Is the shh to someone else's mouth. Yeah, that's my favorite drunk move. Doing a thing, touching someone else's lips with your finger that you would never do while you're sober.
Oh God, it's something you wouldn't do in 2020 either. Period.
Nope.
All right, I'm taking this off the
Right.
internet now. So
All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.